Hello there, Tony Baker from Six String Country, back for another guitar lesson. It was suggested on our forum that we do a tribute to Earl Thomas Conley, who just passed away last week. I thought that was a great idea, so we're going to be looking at Holding Her and Loving You. This song was written by Walt Aldridge and Tom Brassfield. On the acoustic, we're going to start with some specific picking, a specific picking pattern through the chords over the intro and the first verse, and we're going to move into a strum pattern for the rest of the song. On the electric, we'll throw in a few extra riffs that we hear on the recording. We'll play everything that we hear on the recording, including a nice guitar solo over the bridge. And then we'll also do a little bonus tutorial that will be a whole nother pass over that guitar solo section over the bridge, which we're just going to do for fun and get a few more country riffs under our fingers using the G bender.
It's the third hardest thing I'll ever do. Leaving here without you. And the second hardest thing I'll ever do is telling her about you. She's been good to me. Things were going wrong. How can I tell her now? Good ain't good enough. Oh, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Holding her, loving you. Holding her, loving you. Girl, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Holding her, loving you.
In this tutorial, we're going to go over the acoustic guitar part for Holding Her and Loving You. We're going to start with a very specific picking pattern that we hear in that recording. And once we get these two chords, these two measures down, the rest will fall into place really nicely, okay? It's going to look like this. All right, so the two chords we have is this version of a G, 3rd fret, mute the A string, open, 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 3rd fret of high E. And then we're leaving it all the same except our pointer finger's going down on the 1st fret of the B string for the 2nd chord. And the picking pattern is for the first one, so low E string, then D, G, skip over to the high E string, then B, D string, G string. Okay, again, 2, 3, 4. Then when we put our pointer finger down, it will be this for the next measure. So we start with the low E string, D, G, B string, high E string, B string, D string, G string. So both of those together, 2, 3, 4. That repeats in the intro. All right, that's also how we're going to start the verse. But for the verse, we're going to need to know another chord too, which is standard C chord. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at the electric guitar part for Holding Her and Loving You. And we're throwing in a few extra things that we don't hear in the recording. I just like to do that sometimes because we're a guitar website and it's fun to get our fingers on things. And a lot of times if you're playing in a band situation or in a bar situation, it can make sense to throw some of these licks in even though it wasn't played on the electric guitar. For the original. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy this bass guitar riff. It translates pretty well to the electric guitar, and it looks like this. quick talk about tone. I've got it on my neck pickup here. And you don't want a lot of gain on there, but you do want to have some compression and a little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb, and just a little bit of chorus on there will help too. All right. So what we're doing here is a harmonic on the 7th fret of the D and then the G string. To do that, you just put your finger so it's touching the string right above that fret, but the string is not touching the fret. You're not pushing down that hard. You're just barely resting your finger on that string. Then you pick it pretty hard. Then do the same thing on the G string above the 7th fret. Then we're going to go 8th fret of the high E string, 7 over the B string, 10, 8. Then we do this over this. But this is, for this version, we're going to do it just like it is on the record. We play that open A string, and then we do this. Let's get just that much first. So we work up here on the high E string, 7, 8, slide to 10, then 8 of B, then 10, down to 8 again, pull it off, and then slide up 10 to 12 on B, 2 more picks, then 3 picks on the 10th. This is just a fun bonus tutorial. I'm just taking another pass over Holding Her and Loving You by Earl Thomas Conley. He just passed away last week, so we did that whole song. I did it just like the record, the solo just like the record, and this is just a bonus. It's a fun country song to take a solo over, and I like to add little bits and pieces into the site using the G bender for those of you that are interested in that. So I got my Matney bender here, made by Matney USA. Makes these custom benders, so you can go, do things like. What I'm doing there is you push the neck of the guitar down, and it activates this lever behind the guitar, and it raises the G string a whole step.